The struggle for women's rights legislation began before partition. Women were a part of religious and nationalist struggles and participated significantly in the independence movements. This participation led to an understanding of their own oppression and subordinate status in the social, political, and legal structures. Some of the earliest struggles by women were waged against social exclusion and discrimination, particularly in the area of education, veiling, and polygamy. Amongst some of the earliest notable women included Bai Amma, who publicly removed her veil while addressing a rally in Lahore. Many others included the Begum of Bhopal, Mohammadi Begum, Chand Begum, and the Faizi sisters, including Atiya Faizi, who pushed for women's right to modern education. Other achievements include Sultan Begum of Bengal, who became the first woman to earn a master's degree in law. Also, a delegation led by Begum Hazrat Mohani demanded equal franchise for women. Furthermore, most provinces except Orissa and Bihar granted voting rights to women. Post-partition, Indian men were willing to grant women the right to vote and get an education in the interest of the national liberation movement. Jahanara Shahnawaz, a Muslim League veteran, and Shaista Ikramullah from East Pakistan are two very influential women in the first legislature of Pakistan. Women demanded for 10% reserved seats in legislatures during the 1930 the Round Table Conferences. Charter of Women's Rights by Jahanara Shahnawaz included equality of status, equal pay, and guarantee of inheritance rights. Furthermore, in 1951, the Muslim personal law of Shariat became effective and women received the right to inherit agricultural land for which they had been fighting since 1948. The Democratic Women's Association, DWA, was formed in 1948, which organized women at the political level, led by a Marxist activist, Tahira Mazar Ali. The DWA wanted equal pay for equal work, educational opportunities for girls and women, hostels and transport facilities for working women, nurseries at places of work, and expanded employment opportunities for women. All Pakistan Women's Association, APWA, made invaluable contributions not only to welfare but also in the arena of legal reform. In 1958, Ayub Khan's takeover and martial law resulted in the abrogation of the 1956 constitution. Therefore, in 1961 Family Laws Ordinance was passed, addressing marriage, divorce, and custody issues. When General Zia came into power, he introduced discriminatory laws like Hudud Ordinances, Kisas, and Diet Ordinance, and Law of Evidence, which as a result institutionalized discrimination against women. Women Action Forum was formed in 1981 to resist the spate of discriminatory laws against women. In 1994, a Commission of Inquiry for Women was formed led by Justice Nasir Aslam Zahid, a judge of the Supreme Court of Pakistan, which had 10 other members. The commission presented its report in 1997, recommending the repeal of discriminatory laws, amendments to others, and setting up institutions for monitoring the enforcement of laws. The Women Protection Act was passed and the crime of rape was taken out of Had and placed in Tazar, Pakistan's criminal procedure, while on the other hand, the Federal Sharia bench struck down several sections of the Women Protection Act arguing that they were contrary to the injunctions of Islam. Alliance Against Sexual Harassment was set up and led by Fozia Saeed, played the major role in getting the legislation against sexual harassment passed. Provincial legislation for women's rights includes Sindh, consisting of the Child Marriages Restraint Act, 2013 and Domestic Violence, Prevention and Protection Act, 2013. For Punjab, Punjab Protection of Women Against Violence Act, 2016 is known to be seriously problematic. Domestic violence law framed by Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, framed in 2016, suffers from serious deficiencies as well. In a nutshell, progressive legislation at both federal and provincial levels marks significant steps forward for women's rights in Pakistan. However, the path ahead remains fraught with challenges. The commitment to fighting for rights and equality must persist, driven by the spirit of resistance and the goal of achieving justice for all women in Pakistan.